We are thrilled to reveal Quip's latest collaboration with the renowned artist and innovator Chantel Martin, known for her bold, exquisite art and diverse creative ventures. Look at this toothbrush by Quip. What a fun little design by Chantel Martin. We have gum dispenser.
It's really convenient, and it feels nice because, gum is something I tend to share with people. Like when I chew gum, I'm going to offer it to someone else. So it's really beautiful. Like I love the metal one that I have, and the design on this one is stunning. Like people will notice it.
Whether it's a toothbrush or water flosser, Quip has so many convenient, functional things for your mouth. It's also just a perfect travel toothbrush because they have that little thing that just sticks right to the mirror. I really take it everywhere I go.
I love the fact that this toothbrush is now easily rechargeable. It is so convenient to not have to have batteries in the house.
They got guided brushing, smart tracking tech. If you go to getquip.com/VIALL right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush or mint gum dispenser. Plus, listeners of this show will get an exclusive 20% off discount on the Chantel Martin Collection Bundle. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint gum dispenser, or the Chantel Martin Bundle at getquip.com/VIALL. That's spelled GETQUIP.com/VIALL. Quip, the good habits company.
You're crazy.
Oh my God, I haven't worn any of these in a long time.
Welcome back.
This is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have a great voice.
I hate my voice.
Really?
Really?
Hate it. I've never watched my show because I hate my voice. I've never sat through a whole episode of my show because I can't stand my voice.
Okay,
It's a little raspy right now because I'm sick.
Oh, so it's hot.
I was sick. I'm getting over it.
No,
Okay.
it's like, okay.
No, I was sick. And now I have like this residual
Mm-hmm.
thing. I would never come here sick.
So it's hot. So now it's hot.
Now it's hot.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'll sound like fucking Mariah Carey in Christmas.
What a great place to
Yes.
start. Are you ready? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Going Deeper edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household of Amanda, Justin, Allie. Are you alive? Are you better? Are you
I've risen from the dead.
Yay.
little stomach problems?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
and that
made me feel really bad, though, is my 93-year-old grandmother was like, now I'm not feeling well. And there's nothing worse than getting
Did you
someone
kill
sick,
Gam
but then
Gamma?
when they're 93.
You killed her.
Wait, you went around Gam Gam with your bad stomach?
Because I wanted to show her the Barbie movie. So I did like a big Barbie movie
God.
night with her.
She better not die.
You and I are going to fight.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
You are, how old are you?
26.
Old
Of
enough
course,
to know better.
Of course. You are 26. It's your goddamn generation showing up, coughing on motherfuckers, getting everybody sick. Like, cancel the goddamn Barbie movie. Y'all could have watched on Zoom.
Honestly,
She can't figure out Zoom.
Yeah, you could have helped her figure it out.
She
Now
definitely
Gam
won't
Gam on
figure
the
it out if
toilet.
she's dead.
Oh my God.
That was dark.
Allie, did you know that you were sick when you saw her?
No. I
Okay,
went
so
down after
there we
the
go.
Barbie movie.
There we go.
Allie,
Okay.
I'm looking at your tweets right now. It said that, look, you tweeted that you knew you were sick and that Gam Gam was coming over, but you were going to power through.
we found your old tweets.
Gotta watch this movie. Don't care about Gammy.
Yeah.
That gorgeous voice that you are hearing is none
Gorgeous.
other than the one, the only Justin Sylvester. You probably know him from all his time on E News, pop culture, just a pop culture king or queen. Are you a king or a queen?
You know what? I'm either.
You're either. You're
Some days
versatile.
I feel like some days I literally feel like a queen, and some days I feel like a king, and I'll take them both.
Honestly, same.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take them
Honestly,
both.
as you should.
Yeah. Well, we figured we just include Justin in our intro. Justin, we usually will do an intro without our going deeper guests and then talk shit about. No, I'm kidding. We don't have to talk shit about. We love it, but you being who you are and just so well versed in the pop culture space, this is usually the time that we would riff about some of our favorite topics out there in the old pop culture world. But we figured, why don't you just sit on the whole episode?
Let's talk it out.
Let's talk it out. How you been? What's
I've been
new?
good.
What's
Just kind
cracking?
of chilling, working, trying to keep it together for the holidays.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You know,
Having dinner parties.
having dinner parties, trying to keep my childhood trauma at bay.
Well, do you want to talk about it?
No, I just am like, I'm very aware that the holidays can bring things up in people.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very empathetic and I feel my friends, like, even when they don't know that their childhood trauma is rearing, I can feel it. Like, I know when you're about to go home because everyone tenses up. Everyone's relationships get a little dicey around the holidays. And people don't realize it's just their childhood trauma.
Yeah.
It's just coming up to like haunt them.
That tree comes up and you get triggered
That
because
tree
mom wouldn't let
comes
you decorate
up.
it back in the day.
100%. You got to see that one uncle that made your life a living hell. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, ugh.
A little touchy. A little grabby.
Yeah.
Anyways, Natalie and I were watching Housewives. We were watching the dinner party, and I was just like, wait, that's fucking Justin. We gotta get fucking Justin on here. I was like, all the, he didn't sign any. Did you have to sign an NDA to go to that dinner party?
No, I'm like
Thank
a brick
God.
wall, though.
Yeah.
I'm like a brick wall.
What does that even mean?
I've been in it for 15
He's hard.
years. Like, I've been in for 15 years. I know the jam. I know the shuffle. That's why I pick a seat in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And listen?
I just listen. I let my subtitles do the talking. I don't say a
Mm-hmm.
word. I'm not getting paid. I'm there as a supportive friend. I'm going to shut my ass up and take in all this shit. And it was great.
Honestly, it looked great.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. I wish I was there.
The only problem with those dinner parties is that they don't feed you. The plate does not hit the table until the drama is over. So sometimes.
So they like starve.
Well,
the
it's not
people
even that. It's not even that.
You can't eat until you make a fuss.
Yeah, have
No.
4 glasses of wine and yell at each other.
No, it's not even that. It's the continuity. I used to be a
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
producer. So if you serve the dinner before the fight starts, then the fight, begins, and then you have to go back and cut, it's like a whole thing. So normally I'm at this place like trying to speed the thing up. I'm like, let's go. Which is why you often see housewives like Crystal bring up things at a dinner table because they're ready to eat.
Right.
And they're ready to go home.
Oh.
Because it's
that
like,
makes
it's
sense.
wild. It's very tense. It's very, all cast events of a house. I would rather be Joe Biden at a press conference than be a housewife at a motherfucking dinner party.
Say more.
100%. It's just, I think being a housewife is one of the hardest jobs in Hollywood.
Because I would agree, but I'd love to hear it from you.
I think that being a housewife is like being a witch during the Salem trials with Twitter. With Twitter, I feel like I started, my journey on Housewives, working with Kyle as Twitter was coming about before it got to 140 characters, like TBT days. And people were a little bit nicer. And then I think that there was a moment where people realized they can have 15 minutes of fame. And when the retweets started, they can get more notoriety by being mean. And it started a shitstorm. So I think when you're on a TV show and you're playing, or you're a personality playing yourself, A, people think they know you, a little bit better. But B, people think they can be meaner to you because you are a reality person.
Yeah, they see you as a character, not a person.
They see you as a character, as a person, but they also want to let you know because you said something to their friend in their mind, and it is nasty. It's really nasty. I would not want to be, I could not be a housewife.
How did you
Literally.
meet Kyle?
It's so funny. I met Kyle through another girlfriend of mine who's from Louisiana. Her name's Allie Landry. And she was like, I have a girlfriend who's starting a reality show, and I think she's going to need an assistant. You should move to LA. And I was like, oh, okay. Like in a month or like, in the summertime. She was like, no, you should move like next week.
Oh.
And I was like, ooh. And then she goes, but I don't know if she she didn't tell me she needed an assistant. I just think that you should move here. I'm going to introduce you to, and I think you guys will hit it off. So I, like a big dummy, packed my shit and moved to LA without a job.
Obviously.
On this promise of this dinner.
You bet on yourself.
I bet on myself. But in the meantime, she was like, oh, let me hook you up with this other actress. I'm going to set you up with this other actress. So I go and interview for this huge Hollywood actress. And I walk into the interview and she is topless.
Oh,
okay.
She
And
will not be named?
She would not be named.
Okay.
But I immediately know that she's playing a mind game. Like she's trying to freak me out, throw me off my game.
Okay.
And I'm watching the housekeeper like watch me as if like this is like a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck that. Like, first of all, I'm not scared of a pair of titties. Like, I'm a gay man. Like, I am not scared of a pair of titties, especially some nice ones. And I'm talking to her like her two nipples aren't staring at me like you know what I mean? Like,
Blinking.
I'm just like having conversations,
Right.
like, you know, like going on. And I leave the house and I know I kill it. And the manager calls me and says, oh, you should go back for another. She wants to meet you again.
She's not going to wear pants next time.
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even care if I don't get the job. I'm definitely going back because I want to see what this bitch pulls out of her hat.
Yeah.
So I go back to this interview a week later, and she again is like putting on this show. Like, she's like moisturizing. She's like, tell me what you think about my face. I'm like, oh, I think it's so gorgeous. And I love when the camera hits you from this side because it shows this. And she's like loving it and living and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting this fucking job. I don't care if it pays $4.75. I'm taking this job just so I can say I did it 2 years with this person.
What's it rhyme with? Like,
oh,
can you tell
by
us
the way,
afterwards?
Maybe I'll tell you after.
Okay.
In the meantime, Allie sets me up with this lunch with Kyle. And I'm sitting at lunch and her two of her 4 kids are there. One of them's like a 1-year-old. The other one's 10 and staring me down. The 1-year-old's climbing on my back, playing with my hair.
Oh.
And we're talking and we're getting along. And she's like, yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna need somebody for like 3 months. And I was like, okay, all right. But in the back of my head, I'd already accepted this job with this A-list actress who, you know, shall not be named. But I was like, I'm going to take the job with this woman. It's like, it's a job. So I get in the car with Allie Landry and I will never forget this. I was like, I can't take the job with Kyle. She only needs someone for 3 months. She's like, get in there and make yourself indispensable.
Damn.
She goes,
Good advice.
this other job is going to be fun and you'll have, you know, fodder for a book later on in life. But if you work with Kyle, you will get like a master's degree in TV. So I was like, ugh, Allie's always right. So I show up to Kyle's house and on the first day of filming, keep in mind, she didn't tell me what show she was filming. She just said, I'm filming a reality show about my life. And when I showed up, they were like, can you sign this release? And I read the title and I was like, 3 months? Bitch, I'm going to be here for like 2 goddamn years nonstop. And I'm like telling her, I'm like, you have to film the season, then you have to do pickup interviews, then you have a reunion, then you're going to have a press tour. This is going to be like a 9-month process. She, in her mind, hadn't realized what she signed up for. Plus, everybody was waiting for Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Orange County was the test run. New York was like, you know, the appetizer. This is the goddamn entree.
Oh, period.
And she's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, well, that's a problem. So 3 months turned into 5 years.
5 years. Wow.
5 years. It was wild.
And,
By her side.
and Kyle's, what she thought was going to be nothing turned into 14 years.
14 years. And every year we're like, are we going to do this again? Like, we have this conversation like, are you doing this again? Like, in my head, I always said, we're going to do 10. Let's do a cute 8, because if you get to 10, then you're stuck. And then 8 turned into, oh, well, I have to do 9 because, you know, 8 was so fun. And then when 9 went to shit, then we have to do 10 to redeem ourselves and finish the story. Now we're on damn near 14. And I'm pretty sure she's going to die on that show.
It's like Don Corleone in Godfather or whatever is like, once you get out, they pull you back in. Or,
They pull you back in.
Yeah.
And she's loyal. That's the problem.
Mm.
Like, you know, she is an OG. There's not that many of them, you know, left. There's only 2, honestly.
her and
Teresa.
Teresa.
Her and Teresa started the,
Wow, that's
you know,
crazy.
there's only 2 of them.
When did Erica start?
Erica started like season 5.
Okay.
Like, she came in later.
Okay.
Was
So,
Atlanta that much? Like, I feel like Candy's been on for a long time too.
Candy's been on for a long time, but Candy came on season 3.
Oh, she wasn't a.
She
was
wasn't
first
an
season.
original.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I think for her, there's this thing
Yeah.
in her head that she wants to be the last standing OG.
I mean,
Kyle
that's
or
kind of
Candy?
iconic.
Kyle. And I also think that she feels like it's her show. And I actually love
As
that
she
about
should.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She feels like that I think she thinks it's everybody's show on the show, but she has like a special attachment to it because she started, you know, on the show at the first air date.
Well, also, I think her family, like having Kim on the show and having it start as like this like real familial relationship. Like, how did you kind of being on the inside see the way that having like a familial relationship impacted the cast dynamic versus like these other close friendships?
I always say this, first and foremost, no matter who you are, I've been friends with this family for 15 years. I am not going to ever understand the true dynamics of it. And I have a front row seat to it. Just as someone coming into my sister and I's conversation for 42 minutes a week, you will never understand the full dynamic. That's why I never get involved in family fights.
Yeah.
Because they go way back and they're way deeper than you think. And, you know, for myself, when the Richard sisters are on, you have never met more funnier, like a charismatic group of people. The Richard sisters together are hilarious.
I think Crystal really articulated it well, just because they're just, when they were all on the show, it's a TV show. And obviously we all, you know, the drama comes on, we have our reactions, we get into it because it's fun, but like, it's his family fights all the time. And just like,
yeah,
you know, I have 10 siblings. So it's like, there are times where it's just like, I can go months without talking to a particular sibling because they just annoyed the shit out of me or vice versa. And that's just how families operate. The only difference with them is like it's all aired on TV.
Yeah.
And so when we watch it as fans, we're just like, oh, they're not speaking. There's just some giant family feud. They hate each other. And it's like, I don't know. They're just sisters.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's more, I think it's
yeah.
more like that, but it just gets blown out of proportion because of the platform on which we're watching it on.
And if you add dramatic music and you add confessionals, like confessionals are God's gift to an audience, but they're the devil. Like, you are never supposed to know what other people are thinking
about you. Yeah.
About
comedy.
You. Like, for instance, like, you should never know what your husband or boyfriend or fiance or baby daddy should ever think about you.
God,
keep that shit to yourself.
Baby, I think you're amazing.
No.
And
keep on saying that.
Yeah, let's keep it like that.
It's really a hard job.
It would be like if we recorded with you and then after you left, cut in and like commentated on your thoughts, and like every, you know, you would say something and then we would cut in the episode after you left, edit it, play some music and be like, you know, Justin, he looked a little off today. I don't know. Is he
it's
just
like he had like came from the gym.
Yeah,
And like,
I
did
was
he
like-
even work out? Because he wasn't
Yeah.
really sweaty. So I feel like he was
so
just like walking around.
I would literally die. I would die.
I would die.
Which is why I got rid of Twitter. I got
Yeah.
rid of Twitter for that reason. I don't need people's inner thoughts about me. I have my own terrible inner thoughts. Those bitches are wild enough. Okay, I don't need y'all's. Okay. And when you're on reality TV, even when you're one step away from it, like, I am not on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That is not my show. But because I'm one step away from it, people still feel that they can say those things.
Oh yeah.
And people are
Like,
really
why
nice
didn't you
to me on Twitter.
like? Why didn't you stand up for Kyle, or why didn't you do this, or you're
like,
you
why
know.
didn't you say anything? And I'm like, bitch, because I'm not getting paid.
Yeah.
Like, and I was high as a kite. If I had opened my mouth at that weed dinner, I would have sounded like Denise Richards.
You got high?
I was high as a
What was your
kite.
dose?
Well, I fucked up because I was like, oh, I'm big. I'll take the whole 10. And then I realized I'm a big man. I was like, I'll take the whole 10.
Shit, I need like 25 at this point.
I haven't done weed since I was 23. So
And you said done weed, so I feel like that alone kind of gives you.
yeah. I had a whole
haven't
terrible.
done the
yes,
weed.
I haven't done the weed.
The devil's lettuce.
I had a terrible experience at 23, and I was like, I'm
Never
done.
again.
Done. Ate a whole cookie, wasn't supposed to.
Oh no.
Woke up high. It was
Oh
horrible.
no.
First time I ever smoked a joint was at Elijah Wood's house.
Okay, flex.
Elijah Wood.
Oh, okay,
Flex.
flex.
Well, my good friend Kyle is good friends with him. And I smoked a joint for the first time, and I just got absolutely knocked out,
Flex.
and everything was spinning, and I just stood up and announced, guys, I have to leave.
Like the opposite of an Irish exit.
just walked out, ordered an Uber, and went back home.
Oh no.
One of the first times I ever got baked. Oh my God, NBC's gonna kill me. I was working for the guy who owned Ed Hardy. His name was Christian Audiger. And he was one morning like in this crazy manic state, as he's French. He was like, you're going to go and you're going to pick up Lil Wayne. You're going to pick up Lil Wayne and you're going to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get on a private jet, go get Lil Wayne from San Francisco and bring him back here. He's like, yeah. Just go pick up Lil Wayne. Make sure he gets here. He has to be here at 5 o'clock. And I was like, okay. And he used to call me Genevieve. He's like, Genevieve, get the fuck out of here.
Why?
Everyone in the office had a French name. And Justin, I guess, was not French enough. So he called me Genevieve until the day he died.
Oh, wow.
Also left me a check in his will and made it out to Genevieve.
So could
you
you ever
cash it?
I had to hurry. I had to go to the accountant and figure this whole thing out.
How big was this check?
It was very good. He was very sweet. He was very sweet. He had a
Call me
very,
whatever you want.
right? It was very nice. And I went to pick up Lil Wayne, and we got in the plane, and they started smoking in the plane, and
You're like, are we gonna go down?
I was like, what is going on here? And they had the pilot circle until they finished what I think was a foot-long Subway blunt. And
Also, if you account for like the gas they used to circle, that was like a $10,000 joint.
that was a $10,000 joint. And there's no like, if you smoke it's the hottest box you can get in.
Truly.
Yeah.
There's no like, let's put the
There's
window
no
down.
ventilation.
There's no ventilation. Can I tell you, I rode from the PTO, the private jet place to where we had to go was this place called Falcon. I rode from Burbank to Hollywood like a golden retriever out the window. I was so high. I needed like the air to hit me.
Stop.
Did you smoke the joint or was it all secondhand?
It was all secondhand, but it was enough. It was enough.
No.
Trust and believe it was enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
The first time I got high, it was like the night before, and I woke up and I was still insanely stoned, and I had to babysit my mom's boss's kids. And I was just passed out on their couch the entire time I had to babysit them. They could have lit the house on fire, and I would have had no idea.
None.
I was just asleep.
Just dead.
They're like, I was like, how was your time with Natalie? And they're like, well, she didn't
Natalie's
do much.
roasted.
Yeah.
Natalie is roasted.
She's really sleepy. She didn't move from the couch.
Would you ever go back on a reality show?
I just did Special Forces.
No, like a follow my life,
I don't think so.
show me my world.
Oh, we were talking about this last episode with Charlie Burnett. I just think, like you said, I think the Housewives or any reality TV star who exposes their personal life on the show doesn't get enough credit for just the emotional cost and the mental toll it can take on yourself and your family. And it's just like really, really hard to do. And I think for Kyle to be able to do what she's done for 13 years with her kids and her relationship, it takes a lot. And we're getting married, we're having a kid. I'm just, especially now now that it's not just me, I just wouldn't expose my family to that right now, just because I think it's
tough.
It's an incredibly challenging situation. I mean, like,
unless you're on a streamer. Because listen, let me tell you my hypothesis. Okay. If you can get on a streamer, that means that people wanted to go see your show. So they had to get on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it might be and go and look for your show. And 9 times out of 10, your show hits, it drops on Netflix, it's a hit for 3 weeks. People are going to stream it and then it's over. As opposed to a Bravo or E where it comes out week after week after week. Then there's reruns and reruns and marathons and marathons and marathons. It's like Law and Order SVU. Like there's always an episode on.
Truly.
You know what I mean?
Truly.
But as a streamer, people have to want to go and find you. And I feel like with the streamer, you have a little bit more control over your life.
maybe, but it's still a toll. I also dived into Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And just like with Meredith, just like, hey, I don't like you. I'm going to spread a fucking rumor about your family. Your husband has sex with men. Just like, that's fair game in that world. Just to like expose your family to some messy person who just decides to say whatever the fuck, even if it were true, even if, people are just telling your secrets for clout. People are, what Kyle had to deal with at the dinner party, and Sutton's just like, tell me why you're getting in shape. It's like, holy shit, everything is put on blast about your life, and it's a lot.
But it seems like, and I don't know this, for certain, I just feel like every cast on every show has a conversation before. Like it seems like kids are off limits. How do we know that? There are probably phone calls that are made. There are conversations that are had. And I feel like every cast has a different thing. Like, Atlanta too also kept the kids off the situation. Now, Jersey, on the other hand, that line was crossed a few seasons ago when Gia became of age to have an opinion and then entered the group chat. So I just feel like every reality show has their limits. I think you just have to set those limits going in.
Do you think they're usually followed? Like, do you think the Housewives of Salt Lake City had that conversation? Because I'm watching this season and it does not seem like...
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't think they had that conversation. I think they are so fresh in the game and so new that no one sat them down and said, oh, you can have hard limits. Because obviously Bethany was on New York before Kyle. They were friends. They probably had conversations about certain things. Obviously, Teresa has been on the show for a very long time. Her kids were never brought up in any situation, or anyone's kids were never brought up in situations. I mean, we were seeing Housewives kids get arrested, and on Atlanta, but no one would ever bring it up because it was an understood respect between each other. Salt Lake City, they don't have a respect for nothing. They don't give a shit.
We'll definitely see, because Mary's son was actually just arrested for drugs, I believe. And then
it was a DUI, and then he fled his court date. It was like a whole warrant for his arrest. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I just feel
we'll see
like,
if they bring that up.
I just feel like there's with every, there's hard limits. I bet those three sisters in Calabasas know so much more about one another, but also have hard limits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it was a hard limit until Erica told Garcelle's son to fuck off. Or whatever. She was like, you can fuck off.
But still a hard limit.
But yeah.
I feel like, for her in her head, I think she was so lit that she didn't realize like the gravity of what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But, quickly came to the realization that she crossed a hard limit.
Yeah, that's true.
So do you feel like Kyle, with this season going in, knowing that her marriage would be center stage for conversation, do you think she basically okayed certain topics for because Sutton and Garcelle have been really pressing Kyle for information about her marriage. Me watching it back, I really feel for Kyle because it's like now that more and more stuff is getting leaked, I don't know when they filmed this season, it seemed to be having problems while they were filming. And then now they have since been separated. I think they filed for divorce. And now, he was on Dancing with the Stars. And it feels like a lot of her castmates now have the benefit of saying, see, I told you so, even though at the time, I feel like Kyle had the right to certain privacy that the other women didn't feel like she had the right to.
Well, if you actually go back and watch the season, what's really interesting is if you go back and watch the season, on the first episode, they all get together at Eagle Woman's house.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that woman gave them peyote, but I'm not going to say anything. But she said, this has been a very hard year of my life, and she alluded to, this has not been an easy year for my marriage, for myself, for everything. There was no follow-up to that. No one called her and said, hey, I know you alluded to this. Like, do you want to talk about it? Like, you know what I mean?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
She kind of put it out there like, oh, this is what's going on. When somebody comes at you with that kind of, and I'm only speaking from my own experience, like if somebody comes at me a certain kind of way and it's like, oh, you completely missed the opportunity when the door was open to talk about these things. And now you're trying to accuse me in front of a group of people, you automatically get defensive. But I don't think the thing I love and I hate about Kyle is that she is so open. Like, I'm like, damn, girl, you ain't got to tell everybody everything. You know what I mean? Like, but that's her thing. She is open with the audience. And I think once you watch the season, you'll see that there's so much more going on. She lost her best friend. She lost her childhood best friend. That's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
And she talks about it on the show, but people knew that at that dinner and no one brought that up. You know what I mean? I know, oh, you're working out. You're not drinking. You're trying to keep a clear head because you're going through a lot. And when she said, I don't want to drink because I'm going to be depressed. No one said,
Why?
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's like, whoa, I'm like, okay, like, she's right here.
Yeah.
She's telling you, like, I don't want to be depressed. And,
they're all just like,
you know what I mean? Like, but again, I think
Son's like, well, because like I'm going through something too. Like I'm getting more money and more time with my kids, but like it's a real burden on my heart.
Right? But I just think that people sometimes don't know how to react to certain things. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? If it's not black and white, we don't want to really talk about it. But that's like, that was real. Like, she was like, I don't want to be depressed.
Yeah.
that was real.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I know, like, I'm good. I know what's up. I talk every day, but no one's asking.
We tried to I think figure it out a couple episodes ago, but what happened with Faye and Camille? Like when she saw that she was sitting across from Camille, she was like, absolutely the fuck not. I'm getting up. I will be moving. I know it was years ago.
Listen, first of all, let me go on record. I'm going to go on the record and say that Camille Grammer was the greatest housewife that ever lived. The first season of Real Housewives, Camille Grammer was the GOAT. Okay? The fucking GOAT.
What a statement.
I was working. I was in this.
Is Kyle okay with that statement?
I don't know. We'll find out
Sorry.
in about 2 minutes. Actually, she says the same thing. She always says Camille season 1 was great TV. She will back me up on that. I've heard those words come out of her mouth.
Okay.
I'm going to go on record again and say this is where Twitter fucked things up. Okay? The Bravo used to have a blog, and the comments under the blog, were a big thing. People used to comment under your blogs. I think early on in Housewives, people didn't realize it wasn't like it was, where if you're a housewife and you're getting comments, no matter if they're bad or good, the network loves it. Like that people are responding to your story. But Camille was kind of the first one to ever get the heat. People thought she was mean, but I thought she was great TV.
Mm-hmm.
So on that first season, at that dinner party from hell, Camille called Faye the morally corrupt. And it didn't sit well with Faye. I don't blame her.
It shouldn't.
Why did she say that, though?
She said it because Faye went and did Playboy.
That's why?
Yeah. Faye did Playboy.
Judgmental.
It's very judgmental.
Yeah.
But Camille didn't like the circumstances that it was done in. Like, Faye did Playboy. Faye had a friend that, passed. And then years later, Faye did Playboy. And they mentioned the friend in the spread. But it was just funny because Camille's done much worse things in her career. But it was humorous. But to Faye, it was not. And she still gets the morally corrupt. Now she can laugh about it, but I think it still burns.
I mean, that would piss me off. I mean, I wouldn't want to
sit across from someone.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
We could be in the same room, but I don't need to look at you in the face.
No. Meanwhile, I'm like, listen, bitch, we got to make sweatshirts. We got to get some coffee cups out here. Like, we got to start let's start.
Right? Like Faye should have a whole merch line, morally corrupt.
I would die.
That would have we should make some of those.
No, we're going to make them. I'm actually talking to her right now about doing it because I feel like she's finally over it. But to your point, she don't want to sit across from Camille. She shouldn't have to.
No.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll sit there. Season 1 Camille was the shit. Season 1 Camille was everything.
Would you like to have her back on?
I would like Camille back on, but Camille, again, Twitter touched Camille. And you'll see that through Housewives.
Have them stay offline.
They can't.
Yeah.
They can't. It's like,
how can they not? I mean, that's what I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go on these shows and expose yourself and have the internet just talk about you and say some nasty things. But you know what helps? Just staying off your fucking phone, not reading Reddit, not reading your comments, all that shit. And it is so amazing just to not give a shit. And then when your friends and your family send you shit and they say things like, can you believe what so-and-so said to you? You just reply respectfully, I don't care, never send shit like this to me again. And it is so freeing to not have to worry about that shit. And you can do it. It's just a choice.
I don't know.
I've done it.
Yeah, you've done it, but you're on a cute show on ABC that's formatted, that you go on hot air balloon dates and you go to dinners and you get a rose and and your audience is probably around 48 to 63.
Mm.
So let me go ahead and just say, like, you have a good audience. And I'm not saying the Bravo audience is not bad. I'm just saying they are an opinionated people.
Well, I don't
Let
know
me
if
give
you
you-
haven't met Bachelor Nation. They're both pretty toxic and opinionated. Love them both,
Love them both.
but
Let me give you an
Yeah.
example. I got to work like, I want to say like a week ago. And this girl that I work with was like, hey, my sister's friend said she tried to DM you and she wanted you to know that she tried to DM you. Can you look at your DM and look for this girl named Lacey? I'm just making up the name. And I was like, yeah. Go to my DMs, find this girl. And it's like, Crystal Minkoff brought up your name on the Viall Files. What was that about? Are y'all beefing? And I thought to myself, first of all, thank God I listened to the show. I'm like, this is bullshit and ludicrous, but you went out of your way to call your friend whose sister worked at E and have her find me in the hallways to tell me that you think I'm beefing. That's what I'm saying.
no, that
Like,
shit happens all the time. I mean, we'll talk about Bachelor people, we'll talk about Housewives, about all these pop culture people, and it's the same thing. We'll make some sort of remark, and maybe it's like objective shade. I don't know. It's not even that bad. But yes, it will be some fan of theirs who's hyper defensive, who maybe wants to start some drama, will DM some person, be like, Nick's talking shit about you. And immediately it'll be a trigger response for that person. They won't have the guts to go listen to it. And honestly, I respect it because, like, you're just making a bad situation worse.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Had you not, I can't think of how many times that I've been triggered by going into my DMs or my comments and seeing stuff like that, saying so-and-so said this about you. And just like how many times I thought to myself, had I just not looked, I would have never have known. Because finding out about it and then getting over it, like nothing happens. And what I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go through this process, you have to talk to your friends, you got to call up your therapist, fuck, I'm just like, but like, the only thing that happens is time passes and you get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no cost. There's no one comes to like, collected debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just get over it. And had you just not read it, you just would have not had to get over it.
Yes, but that is one person trying to get in contact with me to let me know that they thought somebody shaded me. Imagine if I had been on the show and had actually had an opinion about what was going on. Could you imagine if I was a cast member on that show? That means that you're getting 1,000,000 times more DMs and people being like, oh, this happened and that happened. And like, even the amount of people, and this is what's really great about Housewives, but also like, it's scary. Like, I'm on the Today Show 3 times a month. I have a TV show from Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. on E called E News.
We see you.
Thank you. Nobody wants to stop me and talk about what happened with this person last week or on E News or on the Today Show or like the miracle we did on the 10th hour and the 4th hour. People want to talk about the dinner party from hell. They want to stop me. They want to get, and it's crazy because I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm at dinner right now with a friend of mine. Like this guy doesn't even know. I'm on a date. I'm trying to get this dick. Like this guy has no idea I'm on Housewives. You just blew up my spot. I told this guy I sell soybeans. Like you need to check yourself, lady. I gotta tell you, I literally I have had I've had situations where these women come up and I love it. It's so nice. But I'm at Gay Pride. I have my shirt off. I am talking to a sweaty man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman comes up to me. She's like, I turn around. I'm like, listen, you and I can take this picture over here right now in front of this man, or you can help me out. Meet me at the bar. I'm going to order us 2 shots, the most expensive tequila. We're going to take them together and make a video, but give me 10 minutes. I'm trying to sell this deal. And she's like, okay. I'm gonna I need you over there. And I'm like, Don Julio, two of them. And the guy's like, what was that about? I'm like, oh, everyone thinks I'm Wayne Brady. It's like the whole thing. It's a hair. Back to you.
Where were we?
Yeah. I have this thing where I'm I go to St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, and I always go and light candles for people. And I'm sitting having a moment because all the white ladies were in retrograde, I say. All my white ladies are like losing it. I have a friend who has cancer. I have this woman going through this and a divorce and then. So I went to church and I like lit a bunch of candles for people. And I was honestly having a moment where I was like, I was bawling. I was like literally losing it. And this woman's like,
stop.
Oh my God. She's like, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. In a middle of your prayer.
No. I'm listening to music, bawling, praying for people. And she's like, oh my God. I know it's a bad time. I
have to.
I love you on Housewives. Can I just, I'm like, listen, if you give me 2 tissues and give me 5 minutes, I will literally.
I'll dry it up.
I will dry it up and take photos with you. Just throw me 3 tissues in 5 minutes, please. She's like, okay, I'll be right back.
I'll wait.
Her husband's like, so fucking sorry. And I'm like, it's okay, it's okay.
Gosh.
She came back and she gave me the tissues. And in the 5 minutes, I took the photo and I was like, I'm blessed to be here. I really am. It's such a blessed space to be in. But that's the power of Housewives. And that's why it is such a beautiful vehicle for women who are out there, who are ready to get their lives started, who are ready to leave their husbands, who are ready to start companies, who are ready to take their music to the next level. Like, if you go in there with a purpose, I'm here for it.
It's like sports, I think, in a lot of ways. Like, I always felt like Bachelor was Monday Night Football, like, especially when it was in its heyday and everybody would watch, because it's like, just like with sports, it's like, you know, the various plays. It's like, you can sack the quarterback in football. And then in Housewives, you like start a rumor that their husbands are cheating on each other. So it doesn't need to be new or innovative. It just needs to be like within this world that everybody knows.
Yeah, but the fucked up part about it is Bachelor is like the Olympics. Because once you're on The Bachelor, it's like going to the Olympics every 4 years. Like, you get that one shot and like there's maybe 1 or 2 people out of the 1,200 that are competing that pop. Yeah. Like, you're lucky. Whereas Housewives is like a sport. Like, it is like, but it's like WWE. Yeah. Like, you have your wrestler. She's getting in the ring. You love her and only her. And even if she does the wrong thing and says the worst things in the world, you still gonna back her up.
Also, you don't just like rooting for your team. You like rooting against the teams that you hate, just like in sports. So to your point, if someone goes after your person, it's like, it's fun to hate on your, like, I don't just love the Green Bay Packers. I love hating the Minnesota Vikings. So just when you're watching, if you love Kyle, you might want to love hating on, Sutton or, anyone else. Like, it's fun to have someone you don't like. It's just as fun as watching someone you do like on these television shows.
And it's fucked up because I like all the ladies. I love them all.
Is there not a single woman where if someone in the wild came up to you and was like, this woman is my favorite, you would kind of view it as a red flag?
No, every woman on this iteration of Beverly Hills is in her own right a G. Like, if you're a G, I'm into it. And by the way, Lady Richards has been on the show for 14 years. That bitch she is Thanos. Like, she is she has that claw. She got that glove. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's going to step to her, balls. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you for holding your own, because I know, like, she is like the G. So I just think that Beverly Hills is full of G's right now. I mean, obviously there are women that come in like that are 1 or 2 season housewives, which I think is like kind of the worst thing you could be. Like, I would rather just be a friend for 13 years than be a 1 or 2 season housewife.
One and done. Yeah. And be like, no, thank you.
Because that's it. That's your legacy.
Can you help us at all debate? We were talking yesterday.
Yeah.
I felt like Dorit knew what she was doing when she let Denise know about her upside down shawl. Like, she did it in such a classy way, but I feel like that's Dorit. She knows how to be classy all while throwing some shade. And other people in this room feel like that was Dorit really genuinely trying to be nice. And I'm just like, you can't, there's no whispering on reality television. There's nothing about being discreet. Like, everything's on
Nick
camera.
said she could have taken Denise to the restroom. I was like, you think Denise was going to go to the restroom
or not bring it up.
with Dorit?
Or not bring it up.
Denise was not doing shit. But you know what? I do agree with you. It was nice, but subtly shady. But by the way, you're on a reality show. If somebody walks in like
With your-
with the backwards, you're like, and you don't say something like
You're not doing your
Yeah.
job.
you're not
Yeah.
doing your job. Like the jacket was backwards.
It's like Amanda said, it's like having spinach in your teeth. Like, are you going to tell someone, like,
100%.
you know, or how do you, like, it was so obvious that her jacket was fucked up.
No,
I guess
you
maybe
gotta-
it wasn't obvious to me. Straight
No, the
guy.
jacket was fucked
The
up.
jacket was fucked up.
Like by the way, again, I can't say anything because had I opened my mouth that night, I would have sounded like Denise Richards. I literally would have sounded like Denise Richards.
Was she fucked up when she showed up?
Listen, Denise Richards had a pre-drink, okay? But Housewives filming, it's a marathon.
Yeah, it takes
She
It's
said-
not a sprint. Like,
we had Crystal on, what was it, 2 weeks ago now?
last week.
Last week. And Crystal walked in on the phone with Denise. Denise was like, I don't know how I got that fucked up because, like, I know I had a cold. Is there codeine, like an over-the-counter cold medicine?
this is by the way, and this is the problem because you guys were right. I listened to the episode. If Denise Richards was like, damn, I was lit. I had a fun old
Truly.
time. Like, I dressed as the THC I did at the dinner party for Halloween. Like, that was my Halloween costume. I was the THC that I ate. I was lit. Like, it just,
yeah.
it is what it is. But I think a lot of times people just get afraid to like,
Yeah.
You know,
I
just
would
like,
have
own
loved
it.
Denise to be like, I understood the assignment. I showed up fucked up to a weed party.
the only thing I would have
Sorry.
said was, okay, if I'm going to sit across from these 10 bitches, I'm definitely going to be high. Like, I would have
Yeah.
just made it like I
Yeah,
would have made it
lean
a
in.
joke.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I also love Denise Richards.
I do too.
Honestly, Denise Richards is a Hollywood icon.
Truly.
You know what I mean? Like, take Housewives
I
out of it.
DM'd her to have her come on the show. I haven't heard back from her.
Hollywood icon.
Yeah.
Hollywood icon.
Hollywood icon. Bond girl.
Yeah.
Drop
That's-
Dead
yeah.
Gorgeous.
What was the other one where she played the teen in Florida who hooked up with her? Oh my God. You
What
know,
is it?
Wild Things.
Wild Things.
Denise Richards was married to Charlie Sheen, you
Yeah.
guys.
Mhm.
No, I was in high school when Wild Things came out. So
Oh, I know what you were doing to Wild
Nasty
Things.
motherfucker.
Nasty ass.
Nasty motherfucker.
Ooh, you nasty.
Ugh.
what was her first movie?
Starship Troopers.
Starship
I have it
Troopers.
up on
That
Google.
was when I discovered Denise Richards.
Denise Richards is iconic. By the
Truly.
way, if you look at the Beverly Hills, I hate to say this because I love all the ladies, Atlanta, Potomac, you know, I think every Housewives is pretty iconic, but Beverly Hills is and has had
It's the show. It's the flagship.
most. It's the
Mhm.
flagship.
Yeah.
And they've had the most iconic people, guests, experiences, trips.
Yeah.
And I feel like other housewives look to Beverly Hills for their inspo. Like I keep saying, like the women of Salt Lake City, it feels like it's a spoof of Beverly Hills Housewives, and they all want to be on Beverly Hills Housewives, and they're just trying to bring Beverly Hills to Salt Lake City. That's how it feels.
Well, I think anytime you see I think Bravo is like a fishbowl. Obviously, like there are people probably on your show who saw something work for someone and say, you know what, I'm going to be that person when I go on. I'm going to be the lovable blah, 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 who's also the da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like they know what they're doing. But I also think that if you watch the first season of Salt Lake, the ladies were less made up and kind of more themselves. Like, you know, now it's all about the hair and makeup. Like, I love that Heather Gay was a little disheveled, you know, season 1. Now she's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? She's she's gorgeous. Like she's like beat down to the ground.
Mhm.
I like when ladies don't have a glam squad all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Lisa.
Lisa not wanting to do the drag.
And by the way, that was one of the most, to me, love that scene.
That was a great scene.
And by
She was,
the way-
I have glam in this city. I have glam.
Monaco
when I go to
and
Kmart.
Saint-Tropez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whitney too. Also read Twitter. Now she's
Yeah.
using all the hot words.
Mhm.
She's emotional. Like she's using all the hot words.
Mm.
But then it just fails. Like
Yeah.
you can't keep that up for a very long time.
Well, also, I feel like fans can tell when people are like reading Reddit or reading the internet and bring that on into their character. It loses authenticity. Like,
what are you talking about? Meredith and Monica are now bringing in DMs from a fan.
yeah, well,
We
that's
haven't
like
got there
response. But I mean, like when you can tell someone is changing their behavior by criticisms they're receiving.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
from like the 4 people on Reddit. It's not, but it
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
massive. It feels like everyone wants you to be this way. So you kind of like
You kind of
Shift.
do
to
it.
kind of
Yeah.
respond to like what you're reading.
Camille Grammer, season 2. But also, in Camille's defense, she was also going through a divorce. And she couldn't say too much. And I get it. Protect your bag, girl. Because listen, I would have protected my bag too.
Yes.
If my lawyer was like, you go on that show, you don't say a fucking thing about Kelsey, I would have been like, great. I'm not saying a damn thing.
What is your dream if you could have anyone on Beverly Hills Housewives, old, new, who would it be? Who's like your 7 core best television? We know Miss Camille will be there.
You're a casting director.
Yeah. Beverly Hills All-Stars.
Okay.
All-Stars. Yes, thank you.
I would do Camille, season 1 Camille.
Okay.
I would get Lisa Vanderpump back right now because I feel like she's getting lost in the shuffle on Vanderpump Rules. And I feel like Vanderpump Rules people are getting too big. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's just getting lost in it.
She's getting a little outshined.
Yeah. And I think she's hungry. Like, I think she wants that spotlight back. And by the way, she deserves it.
Sure.
Kyle.
Duh.
Kathy. Lisa Rinna. I'm going to go ahead and get Erica Jane in there.
Yes.
Because that bitch is getting spicy again. Garcelle. And then what I'm going to do is, because I mean, I love them all. I'm just saying this is like I need like a Holly Robinson Pete on there, or like a Sherry Shepherd who's like too big for it, but also will do it. You know what I mean? Like, I just need one more, like I need one more hot one in there, like who wants to come in and like show out a little bit. You know what I mean?
So you wouldn't bring back a Brandi Glanville?
I love a Brandi Glanville. I just
do.
don't think that it would ever happen.
Because she wouldn't do it, or Bravo wouldn't let her?
No, I think Brandi there should have been I think if they had done what they did in New York, where they rebooted Beverly Hills, she could be on that, because she just felt so much younger than although like she wasn't that much younger than Dorit, or she just felt so much younger. And Dorit, I bring Dorit back too. I need 9.
Yeah.
Now you're trying not to offend anyone by leaving them out.
No. But I also feel like this is my ultimate take. I know Bravo probably hates when I say this, but I think that Housewives should be like a presidency. You go on for 4 years, and then someone in that crew has to take a break. You still get paid because you're in a holding pattern.
Okay.
And you come back the next season, and then somebody else takes a break.
You rotate.
You rotate the breaks. That way, people come back with a little bit more life under their belts. Because I think sometimes when you don't check out a Housewives land, like, it could be a lot. And sometimes, like, you just need somebody, like Luann, when she went away and came back.
She was good.
She was good, but she also went live a little bit of life.
Yeah.
Came back with a new man, even though the man was shitty. Like, she just, like, got out of her circle and stopped dating people in the circle.
Right.
I just feel like everybody in reality TV should leave and come back.
I mean, Andy Cohen has like a statement. He's like, put him on pause. Like, that's the thing, right? Like Dorinda, he was like, put her on pause. But then she comes back for Ultimate Girls Trip, and now she's like golden.
Yeah, but you know that pause doesn't really mean that. You know that pause, like when somebody says honorable mention, they know you lost. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like pause is something that's a little bit different. I think that every housewife should just go live and then come back a year later. Because a year could make a big difference in your life. If you're disconnected from the group, you might think differently about people. You might have like a new set of friends. I think there's just something to be said about it. Like when I was on my daytime show, Daily Pop, I always said that we should have 4 co-hosts and that every quarter we should rotate somebody out and bring somebody in. And I wouldn't mind doing it myself. Just because talking about the same celebrities and the same topics, you know, your opinion probably will become, like you said, like you just know what the audience wants. Like just go out and live a little bit for 3 months.
Yeah.
Go do some commercials. Like I wanted to do other shit.
Shopify. Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Shopify is an incredible e-commerce platform. I've been a customer of Shopify for such a long time. It is so easy to use. Truly, again, whether you are starting your first business, whether you are having a million orders, Shopify grows and scales with your company. It's so great how they integrate with all these different very functional apps that seamlessly plug and play functionality, drag and drop functionality, easy to design, easy to make. It's really interactive. You got so many great analytics, integrates with your website. You can host a wonderful website through Shopify. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to the other leading commerce platforms. Also, their app, it's just really functional. You can run your whole business from your phone with Shopify. It's truly amazing. Also, that little cha-ching every time you make an order, it's fun. You got to love that. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. There's nothing Shopify can't do, especially taking your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States.
Shopify's award-winning help is there to support you and your success every step of the way because businesses that grow with Shopify.
Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/VIALL, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/VIALL now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/VIALL. Remember, all lowercase. Rocket Money, if you need to do a better job of tracking your spending or stop wasting money, you got to check out Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Truly, if it's just for canceling unwanted subscriptions, you got to check out Rocket Money. I myself have wasted thousands of dollars on apps that I got in the past, forgot I was using, or maybe didn't realize how much I was spending on them. Rocket Money will identify those apps that you haven't used and cancel them for you. It's that simple. It's truly remarkable. Rocket Money can also lower your monthly bills. Rocket Money can negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is take a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Rocket Money also lets you monitor all your expenses in one place, recommends custom budgets based on your past spending, and they'll even send you notifications when you've reached your spending limit. So if you're looking to save some money, tighten that budget, and just, if nothing else, stop wasting money, you got to check out Rocket Money. With over 5 million users and counting, Rocket Money has helped save its customers, on average, $720 a year and $1 billion in total savings so far. I myself have saved way more than $720 with Rocket Money, and you can too. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel unwanted subscriptions. Manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/VIALL. That's rocketmoney.com/VIALL. rocketmoney.com/VIALL.
You mentioned Lisa Vanderpump. Have you seen the season 11 teaser? What are you thinking going into
Have
this?
you seen it?
I have.
I think we should all watch it just to refresh. Let's just watch it quick. Because
It's an Avengers. It's 17 minutes.
2 minutes and 40 seconds. Get pumped. It's a good trailer.
It's a great trailer.
The screaming. Chills.
Yeah, I love it though. Just
Chills.
I've cheated. I was a makeout slut. Made out with Sheena like Vegas.
No!
The bomb.
It was one kiss.
I miss who he used to be to me.
I don't know what the future for me and Tom looks like.
They're doing a podcast together now.
Who's that?
Tom and Tom.
Jesus.
My lawyer will be dealing with you, the house, and my f***ing children.
Your children?
I have never experienced someone who gets cheated on and suddenly she becomes God.
Sounds like Lala was mad about it.
Does.
Yeah.
Sounds a little jealous.
That's, by the way, that's the only part that I was like, whoa, I'm actually going to tune in for just this. I want to see what the context was because you never know.
I feel like it was obvious that narrative was going to get brought up, that the entire cast was going to get envious and jealous of Ariana's fame and attention that she's been receiving. First contestant on Vanderpump to get on Dancing with the Stars. She's
first
on
Emmy
Broadway.
nomination.
Did she get
Damn.
one
But
on
I think
her
it's
own?
also because Lala's gone through so much shit herself. And you brought
So
this
what?
up when we were watching season 10, Nick, as the different treatment of Ariana versus Lala. Like Lala's been through hell and back and she didn't get all these opportunities.
No, listen, I get that, but like she's been through a lot. But I don't think what is Ariana doing wrong? Ariana is doing what any of them would do if those opportunities came her way.
I would do it.
I also think it's like I imagine Lala would want to get treated better, not to have Ariana treated as badly as she was treated.
By the way,
was Lala treated
Well, yeah,
bad?
I think she was treated. I think people treated Lala like, oh, this happened to you because you did it to someone else. It was almost like they kept this narrative going that she was the other woman, and no one feels bad when the other woman's husband gets taken by someone else or some other circumstance. Like, it's almost like she deserved it a little bit.
Yeah, because
But the problem is, and this is not, I think this is more to say Tom and Ariana were more in our faces and they were more of a thing together on the show. And the Rachel aspect of it, I think really, hit home for a lot of people. But also lightning just strikes. It was like the word Scandival happened. It was her friend. They were living together. She was freezing her eggs. Like, it was a Halloween costume. It was an SNL skit. The branding behind it was just so perfect that I feel like Bravo basically handed it to Ariana to take it.
But they all benefited from it.
Totally,
They've all have made a lot of money from Scandival. Like
100%.
I mean, that's how Lala, she put her down payment on her Palm Springs house was from her merch. Send it to Daryl.
Yeah. She launched, Sheena and Lala launched podcasts from it,
But it's hard. You don't understand this because you were the guy who won from your season.
I don't understand what.
Like, you don't understand being on a show and having someone be the breakout.
Sure I do.
But you were the breakout.
Yeah, but I had my breakout, but I've had experienced other people have breakouts around me. I had to wait for my time.
Okay, so you were on what season?
I was a 2-time runner-up. And so I went through hell on my first 2 seasons. I got bad edits, I got internet bullied, I was crucified, and then around all my peers, because in Bachelor, just like in reality TV, when you're not the cool kid, you're an easy target even for the people around you, because it's a scary world, but a lot of the people who go on the show, especially if they don't have experience in it, they're kind of cowards. So if the audience doesn't like someone, people don't want to be seen with you. They don't want to take pictures with you.
Yeah.
And shit like that. And I went through all of that, and I had other people get, and I was happy for them. Like my friend Ben, who was the Bachelor before me, I went through a shit ton and, but he was the rising star and I got shit on. And I, meanwhile, I put my heart out there and I got fucking crushed and then people mocked me and made fun of me and blah, blah, blah. And then then my friend becomes the star and all while I'm just fucking suffering. And so, yeah, I know what it's like.
Where's your friend now?
What?
What's your friend
Ben?
doing now? Yeah.
He's crushing life. He's happily married, doing his thing. Restaurateur. How do you pronounce it? Restaurateur. He owns a bunch of restaurants. He has he's successful.
And how many podcast listeners do you have a week?
A lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and you were just on Special Forces?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
okay.
I'm not. No. Justin, I am not suggesting I haven't made it.
I'm just saying.
My star is still on the rise. I'm just saying. I just chose not to, worry about other people. And I chose to stay in my lane and focus on what I could control. And I chose not to be envious of the people around me. And I chose to support them. And I just bunkered down and I got through my shit.
I think on any reality show, you play the long game, obviously.
100%.
But I think on any reality show, especially one where you're on a Vanderpump Rules, when you're 6 people and you all started coming together, I feel like anytime somebody gets a little bit more shine or publicity or a little bit more attention, it then puts a spotlight on them. And, Ariana at some point says, in an interview that she feels like people are going to feel sorry for Tom. And, she knows the pattern.
Yeah.
If she didn't go through this and she wasn't getting all the accolades or in all the spotlight, I feel like maybe Lala wouldn't feel this way. But here's the fucked up thing. I just feel like I wish that they would have taken a breath in between. I feel like it was too fresh at the reunion and it was probably too fresh when they were filming this. It's just too, I just needed maybe another month in between. I really wish they would have been hey, due to the sensitivity of this, we're going to take a month until we give you the reunion. Because everybody just came in so hot, ready to go after, you know what I mean? It was hot. It was too
It was hot.
Nobody was like making sense because they were so hot. And I feel like we're probably going to get the same thing in the season where everybody's so hot about it. But you never know. Look, that was a left turn right there.
Mm-hmm.
When she said come out like God, I need to know what she means.
I do too. Time to tune in.
And by the way, we're skipping over Sheena. What?
Sheena Kiss Schwartz?
Saint Sheena.
Well,
Saint
Sheena, and then
Sheena.
Sheena replied to some comment being like, tune in, everything will be explained, like, referring it to be out of context, which is maybe true. But yeah, she's really putting herself out there. Or she referred to it like she thought that was
said-
in the vault or something. some
Yeah,
shit?
so she said things that were supposed to go to the grave is how she referred to it, but it's not exactly
I mean,
what you
Rachel thought that was supposed to go to the grave too,
By the way, that was some real shit.
What?
That last episode of Vanderpump Rules was probably the best reality TV
Sheena
I
and
have
Tom.
seen. No, Tom and Rachel like talking at the house
yeah.
after the whole I was like, whoa, this girl has no idea what she's getting herself into. This guy just blew up his life and he knows it. Like, he thinks she's going to stay with him, but that bitch is out when she figures out that, this is all it was wild.
That was wild.
like watching her put the pieces together and going, I can only trust my family and you. Well, I don't even know if I can trust you.
Watching her put the pieces together, because you know what? I will say this, and people get mad at me for this. I feel like Raquel was, again, living in a fishbowl. You had one of the Katies was dating Tom, then Ariana came in, then James was dating this person, and then he cheated on her with this person. So in your mind, everyone in your world is hooking up with one another and getting more screen time. So you're not computing how big of a deal this actually is. And I think when you're coming in and you have, I call it young ho mind, because I had it too when I was 24, 25, you're just not computing how big something is when it's in your space.
Yeah.
I didn't think, you have a friend who's who likes, let's say your friend likes Nick and you guys are young and she likes Nick, but Nick's not really into her, and she makes out with Derek one night at a bar. So you feel like she's over Nick, and you're like, oh, I'm going to just make out with Nick. And she's like, what the fuck were you doing? And it's like, wait, hold on. I thought you were over Nick because you were making out with Derek.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I know as a 30-something-year-old that the statute of limitations on a crush is 4 years. Oh no, I'm not touching you. But when you're 25, she's 27, and you think that that's, normal behavior. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
They were still wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, we've been watching Vanderpump back ever since Scandal came out, and it makes me very much understand, not agree with, but understand how Tom's brain worked the way it did. I don't agree with it. I think it's immature. I think he's a selfish person, but I understand why he was like, we all do this shit. What's the big fucking deal?
It was the branding. I'm telling you. There's a writer. I'm going to get her name wrong. Hannah Schellinger, I think her name is, who coined Scandoval. And if that bitch is not getting paid money right now from everyone, she should probably get a lawyer. She coined
yesterday
Scandoval. And
is she associated with Bravo, or is she just a
no,
writer?
she was a writer for the New York Times, and she wrote about it and called it Scandoval, and it took off. It just was the perfect storm for her. Just like it was kind of the perfect storm. I'm trying to think the last perfect storm we had. What was the last perfect storm in reality TV?
Scandal-wise?
Well, it's not reality TV, but I think you could really make the case that Taylor and Travis is a perfect storm of she's on her Eras tour and then now he's having his season and
perfect storm.
It's just everyone's obsessed with it, and then because everyone's obsessed with it, the stories continue to feed themselves, and it's
perfect storm. You can't stop it. No matter where you go, you can't stop it. It hits. I've been
everywhere.
on TV since I was 22. I haven't had that hit yet. I get it. Sometimes it happens for people in 4 years. Sometimes it happens for people in the first season. I don't want to be the first season hit because that's a hard thing to keep up with. So the fact that I'm almost in my 14th season of being on TV and I'm still on a steady climb, I'm ready for the hit. Do I have to show my labia to get it? Do I need to like hook up
we're
with?
here to help.
Like, should I just like pull my labia out
Your
right now?
menorah or majora?
Yeah.
Which one are we working with?
I was like, Happy Hanukkah.
Like, I just don't know. Like, everybody has that hit. I just can't. Like, on my show, Morgan Stewart had the hit. Like, she came out, she got married, she had 2 kids. Like, she was a breakout star of my TV show. And guess what? I loved it. I'm happy to just be like on E News. Adrienne Bailon was the girl. Like, I'm like, yes. Like, at least I have someone on the show who's getting it. That's how I always think about it.
You're such a team player.
Well, Justin, we got some more pop culture burning questions
let's
for you to
do
wrap
it.
up. But before we do, we're going to do some texting office hours, give someone relationship advice.
Oh, let's go.
And then we'll come back with and wrap up with some Taylor and Travis talk. We'll talk about some Bachelor breakups and then some final thoughts about Housewives with our boy, Justin.
Let's go.
All right, texting office hours. Let's bring them up. Lumi, Amanda, your fave.
This is a great product. It's truly a great product. I don't only sweat in my armpits. I don't know about
Good to
other
know.
human beings, but I think like we all know that like if you are out and about on a hot day, your armpits are not the only place that is sweating. Lumi is an amazing all over body deodorant. And my favorite thing is that should you be in a situation where you think down under might be a little sweaty, Lumi was formulated by OBGYNs. So that way you can put it on your privates. It's a pH optimized formula because as everybody knows, you want to be incredibly careful about the kinds of like ingredients that you want near your nether regions. And Lumi was very thoughtfully formulated to account for that.
Baking soda free and paraben free. We love that. I myself am allergic to most of the stuff they put in deodorants. Your skin is your largest organ. Keep in mind, everything you put on your skin goes into your body. And it's so great that Lumi is putting high quality ingredients into the things that you put on your skin and your body. Over 275,000 5-star reviews and counting. You got to check out Lumi because they're doing amazing things. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream, tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with code VIALL at LumiPodcast.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit LumiPodcast.com and use code VIALL. That's LumiPodcast.com, code VIALL. Sundays for dogs. If you love your furry friends, you got to give them food that's good for them. What you put in their body matters. It makes them feel good. They're healthier. They have, better poos. That's important. Sundays contains 90% real meat, 10% vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. In every recipe, you'll find natural digestive aids like pumpkin and ginger, plus disease-fighting antioxidants. Dog parents report noticeably healthier improvement in their pups, including softer fur, healthier skin, better poops, and more energy. Jeff loves his Sundays. We're excited to get Steve on it as well as the little pup that he is. Sundays is a self-sustainable, lightweight, and easy to travel with. Gotta love the easy to travel with element of Sundays. Natalie and I are often on the go, and some of those other healthier dog food options come in those big coolers, frozen blocks, super heavy, really inconvenient. Also, Sundays is way more affordable than many of those other quote-unquote healthier dog foods out there. Sundays cost 40% less than other dog foods brands because they don't waste money shipping frozen packages. Instead, they want to spend on what matters, sourcing the best all-natural ingredients for your pup.
It has been a game changer having shelf-stable dog food. I know Allie, sometimes when we have a late night at the office and Kiki needs something to keep her going, it is so helpful to be able to have a dog food on hand and not have to worry about rushing back home to a refrigerator or freezer.
We worked out a special offer for our dog-loving listeners. Get 35% off your first order of Sundays. Go to sundaysfordogs.com/VIALL and use code VIALL at checkout. That's Sundays, SUNDAYSFORDOGS.com/VIALL. Upgrade your pup to Sundays and feel good about the food you feed your dog. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? My name's Michelle. I'm 27.
How can we help, Michelle?
My fiance, he recently tried to end our engagement, and I'm trying to figure out if I should save it, kind of what to do.
Do you have the option to save it? Like, what do you mean he tried to end it and why?
So if you'd have asked me that 2 weeks ago, no, I wasn't really given the option. He tried to end our engagement over the phone. We've been doing long distance for about 2 months. He is in the military. And so he's been doing training for 2 months, and then he was going to come back. And then basically we got into a small argument the week of Thanksgiving, turned into now this big thing, apparently not a small argument. And on Thanksgiving, he just kind of texted me and he was like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know how I want to go forward with this. And then the next day on the phone, he was like, I'm just not happy. This feels forced. I don't think we can do this anymore.
When did you get engaged?
July. And we've been together for 3 years.
Were you surprised? Were you insisting? Like, how did the engagement come to be?
I kind of knew. Like, I kind of knew it was happening. Like, we had picked out the ring. He knew what I wanted. And I just, like, felt the vibes that weekend that it was happening. And the point was with our, like, timeline, we wanted to get engaged before he went to flight school, essentially. And so then while he was in school for a year, we'd be doing long distance. I'd be planning the wedding. I'd be distracted. We'd visit on the weekends. But we had so many conversations like, are you ready for this? Are we ready for this? Do you feel pressured? And it was always, we were on the same page.
And who was initiating those conversations?
Me. Definitely me.
And when is your wedding date?
It was supposed to be January 18th, 2025.
Okay.
So a while out.
Yeah, it was going to be, we had a full like year and some change.
Yeah. Here's what I would say. Do you want to save the engagement?
Yeah.
All right.
Why?
I've been in a similar scenario. And before we even started, I was talking about how sometimes the holidays can bring out trauma that we don't really even know.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes when there's so much pressure from work stuff and other things, it could put a strain on people's relationships.
Mm-hmm.
If I were you, what I would tell him is I would say, you know what? It seems like there is a lot of pressure on you and there are things that are happening in our lives. And I get it. It's like a pressure cooker. I would say, why don't you and I just put this on hold? Let's not talk about our engagement for the next 6 months. Let's see how we get out of this, or 3 months. Let's just take 3 months. Let's see how we get out of this. And let's make a decision in 3 months when we both have both feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you try to make a decision right now, you're going to second guess it for the rest of your life. Just be like, hey, let's pause this. It seems like this engagement is causing us a little bit of stress. Put it on both of you. And just say, let's put the engagement on pause for 3 months. Let's talk again in February after quarter 1. And let's come together whenever you guys are together.
When we're in person.
When you're in person. Yes.
What was that fight about that turned into?
Not something I typically would pick a fight about, but because it was coming towards the end of like our long distance, I hadn't seen him in like 2 months in person. We were on FaceTime. And I was like, I feel like I'm just not getting your attention. Like, I feel like I'm asking you to spend time with me, because whenever we were FaceTiming, his phone was just flat, like faced up to the ceiling. And then he was doing laundry. And then I was like, I don't want to just like talk to the ceiling. And then he was like, I can do laundry and talk to you at the same time. And I was like, you're not hearing what I'm saying. And then he got mad. I got mad. He was like, I don't want to argue right now. And I was like, you're not seeing my side. You don't care to see my side.
And his response to that was, let's break up?
His response to that was, he had gotten off the phone with his parents right before we had gotten on the phone. We've been talking about where we're going to live, if we're going to move closer to his parents, closer to my parents. He was like, so I'm just not in a good mood about that. And then it just exploded.
A lot of
He was
pressure.
like, you're trying to force me. He was upset about a lot of things. He was like, you're trying to force me to live here. I don't want to compromise. You don't want to compromise. And then he was like, I don't know how I see my future anymore. And then that was the end of our conversation.
How old is he?
He's 24. Turns 25.
Oh, okay.
You should have started with that,
Yeah.
Michelle.
Yeah.
You should have. By the way, bitch, you should have started with that. Okay.
And by the way,
He's
bitch.
young.
You should have started with that.
He's young.
First of all, you're gonna put this. You're not going to talk about big life. You have a year and some change left before you get married. This guy is 24 years old. He cannot make one big. You're a 27-year-old woman, which means you're a 33-year-old man. This man cannot make big life decisions at 24, especially whenever he's under this much pressure with flight school. And I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to have to tiptoe around this for a minute. So how long is flight school for?
Like a year and a half.
This is the hardest part of flight school, I'm guessing. is the getting in the entry.
Yeah.
Talk to him. Figure out like, oh, what are they saying? Does it get easier? Oh, they do? When does it get easier? Oh, shit. Let's pray that you make it to your sophomore year. At what point does this get easier for him? Then start bringing up some of those big life issues. But look, you don't need to pressure this anymore because you're dealing with somebody who's trying to figure out 5 different things at one time. And as a man, we can't at 24.
We had gone back and forth, like whenever this was first happening over the phone. I mean, I did everything. I was like, why do we have to figure this out right now? Why does there have to be a decision like today over the phone? He was like, I don't see me changing my mind. He was like, I'm just not happy. I haven't been happy for, like, he said really mean things. He was like, I just haven't been happy for a long time. I was like, can we just wait? Can we see how this is when you get back home? I was like, you didn't communicate any of these concerns to me before. And then he was like, I thought they were a fluke. I thought they were just going to go away. And I was like, what part of us being apart for 2 months made you think this was going to go away? And now we talked
it's just
yesterday.
a feeling he has. So it has nothing really to do with you guys being in the same room or not.
Being in the same place.
Yeah.
And so now he gets back on Sunday, and we hadn't talked in 2 weeks. And so I was like, what is your plan? Like, when you're coming back, like, when are we going to talk in person? And then I asked him, I was like, do you have plans to move out? He was like, I might move in with my friend Adam. He's like, but I haven't really thought about it. And he just hasn't thought about anything these whole 2 weeks that we haven't talked. Well, I'm over here thinking I have to like cancel our venue and our food and all of these things.
I mean, that should tell you something, though. He doesn't sound like a man who's ready to get
get married.
Yeah,
and so
Justin makes a lot of great points. Yeah, and we've talked about this before on our show, and maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know, but if a guy feels very like unsettled with where he is in other aspects of his life professionally, like when I moved to LA, I was 34-ish, but like I went from this career that I had, which, was upward mobility, condo in Chicago, very settled. And then I just got rid of all that, moved to LA, lived on my buddy's couch for a year. I dated, but there was no way I was going to get into a relationship at that point because I just didn't feel like I had like found my footing with this like new life that I was trying out. And until I felt secure where I could take care of the people I loved and I was in a relationship with, I was never going to be in a relationship. And I think for guys, they really need to feel secure and confident with where they're at in their life to really take that next step and be the partner that you want him to be. Right now, to Justin's point, he's just trying to get through flight school. And then he is still pretty young. So every time he sees other people around him having different experiences and living different lives, he's going to constantly compare that. And he doesn't have the benefit of being like, well, yeah, I've done that. I've been there, yada, yada, not for me anymore. He's going to be like, well, am I should I be doing that? Should I be doing this? And so you're dealing with a man who has more questions than answers in his own life. And so you getting on the phone with him, and listen, you have every right to say, I want attention. You're not, you have a right to have your needs met, but you are asking it of a guy who might not be capable of giving what you need in this moment.
Yeah. And I think the one important thing that like we need to point out is that I've seen this happen 1,000 times where men will fumble their perfect match because the timing was not right and end up with somebody who's not quite their perfect match just because it made more sense in their, oh, well, I guess I'm ready to get married now. Like, it's like it's like a thing. It doesn't happen all the time, but it definitely happens. So you have to realize that this has nothing to do with you. Okay. You're just at a different place than he is. And probably at 24, you probably knew what you wanted in life. This guy's just starting a journey at this point, and that's all he can focus on. Because the idea of, focusing on that and a wedding and like, if you put too many things in front of us, we're men, just pick what you want. You know what I mean? Like, so you just need I'd say, be the cool bitch and be like, yo, I think, don't even give him a question. Be like, you know what? If he wants to salvage this relationship, if he's like, oh, I don't know what to do, be like, you know what? Let me help you. I'm going to take this ring off for 6 months. Let's go through flight school. You do you. I'm going to do me. Let's stay connected. And in 6 months, let's come back to the table and see if we want this. And then when he goes back to his boys at flight school and he tells them the story, they're going to be like, well, damn, she was real chill about that. Oh, fuck.
She's a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch. Oh, she must.
Because that's definitely not what I've been saying.
No.
Kind of
Because I can, by the way, I can feel the anxiety in your voice because you don't like the unknown. You want to know if I can buy a dress, if I can put a venue. You know what? If I were you, I would cancel all that shit.
Yeah.
I would cancel all that shit. And if you have to get a wedding venue while you're 29, you're still 29, you're still vibrant, you're still bomb. Like, at least you'll know. That's pressure on yourself. So get your deposits back.
So whenever he gets back on Sunday, not try and figure this all out whenever he gets back, kind of if he wants to move out.
No. Yeah. So just to add to a couple of things Justin said, I think Justin articulated it really well. Yeah, I think just a couple things, just to simplify what Justin said. First, you need to accept the reality that you're in, right? Like, as we've talked about, like, I get it. It's tough to like plan something in your head, plan it with your partner, and have that plan kind of crumble at your feet. It's discouraging. It can feel embarrassing. Oh, you got to tell your parents and families, oh, yeah, like engagement off. But like humble yourself and just accept that like maybe you guys move things a little too quickly. Not the end of the world. Like it happens. It happens. Like it happens to the best of us. Some of us have been there. So take it upon yourself, take control now. And like Justin said, stop wait. You don't need an answer from him. Accept where he's at. Be like, this is not someone who's ready to get engaged right now. And even if I am, like our relationship couldn't handle this type of pressure. So yeah, take it upon yourself to like make the decision you need to cancel whatever commitments you've made. You certainly have plenty of time to get out of stuff. It's probably not going to cost you much of anything because it's so far ahead. And give him exactly what he's asking for. And what I mean by that is like, give him the space, give him more than what he's asking for. Don't sit around like right now, he's got the power because he's the one who's made this decision. Hey, I'm not ready. I'll call you when I need to. Maybe I'll sleep at a buddy's house. He knows that you're waiting for answers. Stop waiting for answers. He's giving you an answer. And now you're just going to accept it so much that it's going to surprise him. And the third part you need to do is be super fucking supportive of him. Just be like, hey, like you are going through a lot. And almost even if it feels a little like, say, you know what? Can I just say, I'm sorry. I haven't really empathized with what you have been going through. I know you're going through a lot. Even if it feels like you're laying on a little thick, I think men need a little bit more support than they're used to getting. And I'm not saying
they're afraid to say they need more support.
Sure, that too. Yeah. But I think, just really make him feel like you understand where he's coming from while simultaneously not be there for him. And so you just kind of like as a parting gift, you just say, hey, I've accepted your decision. By the way, I think you're doing great. You're going to be an amazing this. You're going to be amazing that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
You've worked so hard. I'm really sorry, blah, blah, blah. But like, obviously I feel the way I feel about you. And I hope down the line we can rekindle, but like, and then kind of disappear on him. Let him panic. Let him think you're gone. Let him think that you accepted his decision that quite honestly, he hasn't really thought through. He is making a reactive decision, but what you can't do is convince him to be with you. You have to disappear and let him realize what life is like without you.
Yeah.
Let him figure it out on his own. You convincing him to be with you just makes you come across as weak and powerless and makes him feel like he has power that he doesn't have in reality.
Yes.
I had to do it to Nick.
Yeah.
And it worked.
We've all had to do it.
I remember this story.
We have all had to do it. By the way, the guy I thought I was going to be with, I had to do this too. And honestly, I was embarrassed to get out of the relationship because it was nice and it was cute. And it was like, he was a big thing, a big name. And honestly, 2 months into the like, I'm going to give him space thing, ended up being so much better for me that I ended up finding a little bit more of myself and not wanting to go back into that relationship. And by the way, when we had our conversation, because we did have another come to Jesus talk a year later, where he was like, oh, I think I'm ready to be in this. Let's meet up. I realized that he just didn't grow enough for me. And I look at him now in his relationship and I look at the guy that he's with and I'm like, damn, that could have been me. Miserable. Yeah. Like, so you got to do what I'm all about that. Yeah. And also let him call you. And if you want to pick up the phone and say hello and not be the one that initiates when he's away and wants to be supportive, you can do that as well. You just can't be the one initiating saying, we haven't had FaceTime. We haven't talked. What the fuck? But like, just lay low, lay low.
Also, if you miss a couple calls, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're busy. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're busy.
And then just my fear would just be like, if we did reconnect down the road, like, is this going to happen again? Like, we've broken up one time before.
You don't, who knows?
So-
You'll deal with that problem if it comes up,
Yeah.
Right now, that's not, we don't even know if
Not
that's going
a
to
big
happen. So
problem.
why are you going to worry about it?
And let him set the fucking, like, if he wants to set a second date, let him set it. Be like, you know what? When you're ready, you set the date. I'm chilling. Like, I don't want to go through this again. But yeah,
I don't want to do it again. Yeah. That's good.
you're Gucci.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think you've probably accidentally made him feel like
Smothered.
there's more on his, smothered, or maybe a little parented.
Parented is what it is.
Yeah.
It's parented. And I have that way with men as well. Because I need to know. What's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
What do you do for a living?
I work in nuclear medicine. In
You need to
radiology.
know. You need to know.
Yes. I need
Nuclear
answers.
medicine.
You're
yeah.
like, you need answers. You're assigned, like, you work in need to know shit. You're not in PR where
Yeah.
you can like figure out the situation. You're not in marketing where like you kind of throw some shit against the wall. You're in a
Yeah.
need to know basis because you're a need to know person.
Yeah.
I can tell that by your Christmas tree. It looks fucking stunning. But you need
Thank
to know
you.
where everything's gonna go. Like I get you. I get you. So
Yeah.
you're just, it's a personality thing and it's gonna take some 50-50. You're gonna have to
Mhm.
bring it down to here. He's gonna have to bring it up to meet you at a place where he can give you answers.
Yeah. My guess is you've probably had a little bit more control in this relationship than you've realized, or maybe you have realized. But I think this is him kind of acting out and trying to take some of that back. And I honestly think
Yeah.
let him have it. Let him feel like he, this is him trying to figure out what he's working through shit right now. And I think
What he
you
wants to do.
respecting that and you supporting him will go a long way. I don't know how it's going to end up, but this is you guys figuring your shit out. And as a guy who's 24, still very much in the middle of what the fuck am I going to do for the rest of my life?
Damn.
Mhm.
Oh, Michelle, you have
Yeah.
3 more.
We thought that was going to be a good time to get engaged, and that just
No,
did
Michelle.
not turn out the way that we planned.
And by the way, 27, he's going to have the same thing happen to him. And then again at you have 2 more of these things. You have like literally like, it's just, I'm sorry, as a man, 24, trying to figure out that next step, 27, because I'm almost 30, then 30, like
Mhm.
you're just about to go through some seasonal depression with this man. I'm sorry. Girls do it
No.
too, but it's quick, it's swift. We get in and we get out of it. Okay. Like we
Yeah.
want to figure it out, but he's just in that place.
Thank
Damn.
you. That was good.
Yeah, take the months off.
That was good. So it's been stressful for the last couple of weeks, and then he'll come back on Sunday, and then whenever we were talking about it, he was like, I still have a lot to figure out, because I was like, are you going to move out on Monday? And he was like, I haven't even thought about it
You
at all. And
see,
I was like,
if
is
you
this
need to
not,
know,
like,
but no,
Yeah.
you need to know. That's too much.
Is
You
this
need to
not as serious to you?
No, but like you're just like, I need to know. Like, what are you moving
Yeah.
out? Like, like you're rambling. Like you're like, you don't realize that like he's like freaking out because of all the unanswered questions, and then you're adding
that
in.
he doesn't have answers
He doesn't-
to.
yeah, and then you're
demanding-
adding. You're adding more questions. Not that it's wrong. It's just his personality type means like you need to be like, all right, come in here. He can't verbalize what he wants because he doesn't know what he wants. So you have to walk him through it. And the last thing you need to do is have him go back to that goddamn flight school without an answer, because you can't handle that. So give him the answers. Hey, we're taking 3 months off this engagement.
Tell him this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I would more this is what I'm doing. There's no we right now. He doesn't want to be in a relationship
Oh.
with you.
I'm doing this.
Yeah. I've decided this. I've accepted your decision. I'm moving forward. I think you're amazing. Sorry about this. Sorry about that. I really support you. I'm proud of you. You're amazing. Like, be chill as fuck. Be like content. But stop making decisions for the both of you, because I feel like I'm guessing he feels that a little bit, and just make decisions for yourself right now and let him realize what life is like without you.
But leave the one thing you have to leave in your court. The one thing is you have to leave the door open just a little crack and just say, you know what? I'm going to take this ring off. I'm going to keep it in here for a few months.
I still love you.
I still love you. In 3 months, if you decide that, like, let's talk again. And if we decide that we're going to, like, you can have the ring, like, let's just do that. Let's give it 3 months. You go do your thing. I'm going to do my thing, and like, whatever. Don't end the relationship right then and there. Let him go back and think about some shit, and then let him, like, you know what I mean? Then have another closure conversation. Don't close the door.
Don't close.
Yeah.
I don't know about the. I don't know if I would put a timeline on it.
I would.
Mm.
I would. I'm not going to have her sitting there for 9 months.
She doesn't sit. I don't think
Well,
she should sit.
No, she's sitting. But she's sitting.
No, I know, but I think if you set a timeline with him, the only person who's going to remember that timeline is you, and then you will sit around and you will pine. So I really think you need to act like, because you are single.
By the way, 90 days for me ain't shit. I'm still acting like I'm single. I'm young Miami in these streets for the next 90 days. Trust and believe. I'm just giving Where's Waldo, because if you let people just sit on Jeopardy without a time, it's like Jeopardy. If you let people sit without a time frame, they're just gonna sit there and be like, fuck that. You have
But if
90
he
days.
knows her, she's waiting.
Huh?
If he knows she's waiting.
You can get a chemical pill and heal in 90 days. Like, like chill. Like, like what's another, you're not going to chill and wait. And let him know you can be doing other things. But fuck it. If you're chilling and waiting, don't tell him you're chilling and waiting.
Fair.
Call me on the side.
Yeah. Oh, so nervous. He comes home Sunday, and then we'll just go from there. We'll do what you
Do
guys
not be
say,
home
'cause I
waiting.
don't have-
Yeah.
Do not be home waiting. Go get a goddamn drink with a friend and be like, I'll be home in an hour. I'm just just go get a drink with a friend.
Okay.
Like,
Don't just be waiting on the couch.
no, you don't want to wait for him to walk in. You want to be the one to walk in. Put your dick on the table after 2 glasses of Chardonnay.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you feel confident in y'all's first interaction?
No. Maybe.
No.
Maybe after like a couple glasses of wine.
Yes.
With this, yes. Now that I feel like I have a plan and like how to move forward, I was like, I don't know if I'm like should be like trying to save this, trying to convince him otherwise, or if I should just like be like, okay, you want to leave, then go. I didn't know.
I think saving it is kind
Giving
of
it the
it feels
space.
like doing the opposite of what you would normally do, and you don't have to save it. It'll save itself if it's worth saving. But right now, you guys need to kind of recalibrate the dynamic of your relationship, and so you almost have to do less than what you would normally instinctually
and give him the space he's
instinctually
asking for. And if that's what he wants to do, then that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going to take some willpower on your part because it's going to be so out of your nature
Yeah.
to do
I've never
this.
lived alone, so that'll be different. But
Oh,
It'll be
bitch.
fun.
This is about to be your life. Michelle, you might not want to get back with him.
Yeah.
You know what
I know.
living alone is like? Waking up,
No.
raw off.
Freeing.
And
It's freeing.
And your next dates should be in their 30s, and he should know about it.
see, that's also my next nerve is like starting over. And I'm like, I was getting married, and
Oh my
then the
God,
idea
do
of like,
not
starting
stress
over
about
and
it.
entering the dating pool.
Wait,
Do
hold
not.
on. Michelle, yes, these streets are hard. Where do you live? Like what part of the country? You don't have to tell me where.
In Florida.
In Florida. Okay.
Florida.
First of all, there's some hot men in Florida. Second off, you're 27 years old and you have never lived alone.
No.
You went from roommate to boyfriend.
I had roommates in college. I was in a sorority, and then roommate whenever I moved home, and then he moved in with
She
me.
about to pop her pussy.
Yeah. Michelle,
She better
you
pop
got to
her
pop your
pussy.
pussy.
Uh-huh.
Also, you're about to get a PhD in being independent. And even if you guys get back together, because he's going to be at flight school for a year, right? You're living alone. Okay? You need the joy of living alone. You will never have that joy after you have a
It's
child.
Everyone
so
tells
sorry.
me this.
It's so good.
You don't
It
even
is.
know,
Everyone tells me
Michelle.
this.
You don't know what it's like to not answer to anyone, to just be. You need that. You deserve that.
I also think it's important to prove to yourself that you can exist alone, because then the bar is forever higher, whether it's him, whether it's somebody else you date. You do not need someone to fill this empty spot because it's not empty.
Yeah.
Like you have a full home, and it's like someone has to bring something to the table in order to be invited.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
By the way, how old are you?
26.
Damn it. Okay.
She's a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch, but you get it. You get it. All my
Yeah.
friends who have never lived alone that are single right now are literally crawling out of their skin. I am 37. I've been single for a minute. And the reason is because I love my space so much and my own mental space that if somebody is going to come in it, that motherfucker's got to bring it.
You're
Okay.
picky.
I'm picky, but I'm super, when I say I'm good being single, I am good being single. And like, you're going to get to that place where like, you're just not going to settle for the unanswered questions, or I don't want to bring that up because this person might get offended. Like, if you don't want to, you know who I am. This is who I am because you know who you are. You need to be
for the
single.
limbo.
You
I
need
don't
to
want to be in a limbo.
No, you need to be chill. You need to be by yourself. You need to just pop that music.
Pop the pussy. You're about to thrive.
And
You're
also
about to
expect it
thrive.
to be kind of weird and bad for a little bit. Like, I
Yeah.
think there will be so much light at the end of this tunnel, truly. Like, I think you'll get to know yourself in a new way. You'll have so much self-esteem at the end of this, but like, expect it to be kind of like uncomfy and lonely and bizarre. And like, the worse things are, the more impressive it is that you're getting through that.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said I'd be embarrassed to like call off our wedding, but I don't want to get a divorce like a year after we get married. Like if you're telling me like you're forcing things with me and you're unhappy and like not going to communicate
It's
those
not
things
that big
with
of
me,
a
it's
deal.
only
Yeah.
No, girl.
Yeah.
You know what's more embarrassing? When people go to your wedding and they're like, "Ooh, we don't know how long this is gonna last."
Yeah.
we don't know if this is gonna
That
last.
no,
They
that's
look a little disconnected.
Yeah, or like you hear a
Yeah.
speech
Uh-huh.
and you're like, there was some weird
Is anyone gonna
undertones.
stand up?
Yeah.
No, like whenever like a
I
dude
think they
gives a
hate each
speech-
other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they might
Yeah.
hate each other.
Yeah.
I think they might hate each other. I had a girlfriend call off her wedding 3 months before it happened in South
Oh.
Louisiana, and in a small town in Louisiana, 275 people at this wedding. It was gonna be a big to do. And I remember the embarrassment she felt. 6 months later, she met the man that she's married to, but they had a baby before and then ended up married. They're happily married. She's living her best fucking life. And sometimes ultimately ending something is like the invitation for something new to come into your life. And with the times that I have walked out of jobs or walked away from opportunities, bigger ones have come to me. So I think that might happen to you in your personal life. Personally.
That's what a lot of people have been saying too, that like if this is like what's gonna happen and be taken so fast and like blindsided, it only has to mean like something that much better. If this isn't like meant to work out, it's gonna happen and come. When that may be, I don't know. When I would be ready to date, I don't know.
You're not even calling off a wedding. You're like, you've been engaged for a couple months. Your wedding's not till like
Yeah.
2025. It's more like an oops. It's like,
Yeah.
just kidding. Like we,
Yeah.
you know.
And if people ask, like we're on a pause. You know what I mean? Like we're taking
We're
a
just on a
pause.
Figuring things out.
Yeah, we're figuring things out.
Yeah.
And don't put it on him. Just be like, I don't know what I want right now. Like, it's your decision. You also got to protect, in case you guys get back together, you don't want everyone to hate him.
To
Yeah.
hate him.
So
Yeah.
you got to kind of sort of take a little bit of the brunt because you don't want
Yeah.
people to remember that he threw you for this loop in December of 2023 because girlfriends have a hard time of forgiving shit.
Mhm.
I'm that bitch.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've
The
been
North
a little
remembers.
vocal with everything that's happened with my friends, so that might be a little bit of a struggle. But I mean, ultimately, they want me to be happy. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
they'll be fine.
We
be
gave you a
okay.
lot of information. I want you to leave with this final thought. The next time you talk to him, I want him to leave that conversation with you basically saying, one, you agree with his decision, even if you don't feel like you are, because you realize that maybe you guys got a little carried away and moved too fast. So you appreciate him having the recognition for that and express that appreciation. Let him know that he was right. And that you also realize that maybe because you also haven't lived with someone, you've never lived by yourself, and that maybe you also need to figure yourself out as well. That'll also scare him a little bit because it's like, well, what do you mean?
Mhm.
Like, what do you mean you have to do something
Mhm.
differently? Like, he's expecting this
right.
woman who's like, everything's planned out, and your uncertainty about your life will be scary for him. But you showing appreciation for him coming up with the idea will make him feel like, a man, all while scaring the shit out of him. So it's like, thank you, babe, for doing this. But also, I agree. I have some things to do as well. I love you. I really hope we can make this work. But maybe right now we need to do our own thing. That's
Okay.
the message you
That's
should
good.
Call
express
us in 6 months. I want to
good.
know what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I
give
will.
us an
I
update.
will fill you guys in.
Call us
No,
in 6
we-
months when
we-
you're dating the
Yeah.
34-year-old lawyer from Boca Raton.
Not a 24-year-old.
No, we want an update in 2 weeks after he comes home, and I want to know what the conversation was.
Are you crazy? I'm
Okay.
coming to Kissimmee St. Cloud. I'm coming to your house on Sunday. What are you talking
Yes.
about?
Let's go. We will go to Miami after he leaves for the week.
Yes.
There you go.
All
All
right.
right.
Pop that pussy, John.
Well, good
Love that
luck.
pussy girl. Bye, that pussy.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Bye,
care.
Michelle.
Keep us updated.
Bye.
All right.
I will.
All right. Bye-bye.
Damn, where were you guys when I was in my 30s and 20s?
Waiting on you.
Damn, I'm going to call in because I got some relationship issues myself.
Want to talk about it?
No, I have no relationship.
Oh.
And I love it.
So you didn't like hook up with the chef at the dinner party?
No. I shut this bitch down. This happened my furnace is off from November to January 1st.
Really?
I'm like a cold tank. Don't even touch me.
Dry.
And I love it. I really do love it.
Kind of fun.
People should try it. It's my greatest advice if you're single. Shut that shit down, okay? Dating is exhausting. If you have seasons in which you date, I gear up for dating in January. I begin dating after Valentine's Day because I don't want that pressure of trying to figure shit out. I date all through end of quarter 1 into quarter 2. Once quarter 3 hits, if I don't have suitables coming into quarter 4, they're cut. Everybody's like, okay, if you're a booty call, you're going to stay in booty call central. If you're this, you're going to stay in that central. But the summertime, I'm flying out. If somebody says, let's go here, I'm in. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not, I'm popping it. I'm popping it. All over Europe. I'm fucking popping it.
Yeah, leg spread.
All of it. Q4, I'm re-energizing. I'm getting my life back together. I'm drying out. I'm just not.
You're stopping it.
I'm stopping. I'm not emotionally putting in any because the holidays become can I find a boyfriend before Thanksgiving? Can I find a boyfriend before Christmas? I can't believe I'm not having a boyfriend before New Year's Eve. And it's like, no, I don't have one because I don't want one right now. I'm popping it.
Some other people who will not go into the holidays coupled up. Bachelor Nation, specifically the Paradise.
Everyone broke up.
Everyone broke up.
Everyone.
Yeah, they one after another. How much did they hate each other for them to not even spread out the announcements? They were like, first one dropped the bomb, and everyone's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get it out
Follow
there.
suit.
How many people did it?
3.
So
3
there were
couples.
2 engagements and then a couple that left together, which was Kylie and Avon. She announced on her Instagram that she found out that Avon's been cheating on her.
No, not Avon.
The black screen.
Yes.
Typed.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Can I tell you a secret about breaking up in December?
Sure.
In media, if you're a big celebrity, what you normally do is you break up right before a holiday. So you'll see celebrities drop it before Memorial Day. You'll see celebrities drop it at Thanksgiving or Christmas because the media cycle is very short during these times. There are a lot of reporters are working, papers are running reruns. There's not a lot of shit going on. So a lot of celebrities will break up around December. I also think that ABC was probably like, you know what? Why don't you break up now? Because we have this big wedding coming up for Jerry. And no one's gonna.
The truth about ABC, they really don't give a shit about those relationships. They don't have a say
in the Bachelor Nation. In the.
Yeah, I mean, if those people called up producers to ask for advice, they might offer it, but they don't. They're not a part of any breakup announcements, or especially with the Paradise stuff. They're pretty hands off.
Yeah.
So
also, if there's a cluster, there's normally one that's getting a little bit nastier than the other ones. For instance, Hugh Jackman and his wife announced that they were separated. They've been separated for a while. Keep in mind. But the minute Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner started getting kind of nasty and ugly in the press, they were like, okay, just put it out. And then it was oh, Hugh Jackman and his wife are getting divorced. And they're happily married. They were happily married for 50 years and it's fine.
And it's gone.
It's totally cool. And it was totally gone because Sophie and Joe were having a contentious one out in public.
Yeah, so they saw Kylie and Avon getting a little messy, and they were like, let's just put it
out there. We're just going to throw it right out there.
Yeah.
So you just look for it. As soon as Kanye West starts tweeting again, people are going to throw some other things down because people are going to pay attention to what he's saying as opposed to what they're saying. It's really interesting.
True. That is interesting.
I learned that working in media.
I feel like you know a lot up there in that brain.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I love Hollywood.
What was a feud or scandal or something from way back, a deep cut that you were personally so invested in that even if other people might have forgotten about it, you were like, this was a crazy story?
Oh, I mean, I remember being a kid and being obsessed with the Diana of it all. I remember.
Who was she in a feud with?
Her husband, the royal family,
Diana.
England.
Princess Diana.
Princess
Yeah.
I thought you meant Diana Ross.
No.
I was like, I don't know.
I remember that shit.
Yeah.
I also remember, back in the day when the Starlets would fight, like Paris and Lindsay would be on one day and then off the next day. And then this one, Heidi and Lauren, like the Us Weekly, the Ledoux days were the best days in Hollywood.
Do you still?
yeah.
Do you think Kim still owes Taylor an apology?
No.
Why not? For recording her without her consent and then, putting it out to the world and causing her to have mental health issues and
Editing it.
Editing.
The false.
Yes. That part.
Yeah.
I think that things have happened on both sides that I feel like I just need, if everybody's going to tell the story, let's both get it out right now. Let me hear both sides of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I often feel there's two sides to every story.
I mean, unless you're suggesting that, what would Kim's side of the story be?
I know. I just want to know. For myself,
curious.
Sure.
people are like, whose side are you on? I'm like, well, let me just sit and digest both sides of the information. It's like asking a jury for a verdict without hearing the full testimony. You know what I mean? I also want to know who was there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kim, she was like, oh, it's squash, it's over. That was her side of the story by saying it wasn't a big deal.
No. I truly think that, I didn't know that part of it for Taylor. And I think it's, a lot of times big celebrities hide and don't say their full piece, even if we get a lot of it in her music. I would have thought maybe we would have gotten this in one of her songs because we often get a lot of her emotions out in her song. And I listened to Reputation. I didn't hear anything about going away for a year in a foreign country because if I would have been tweeting it along with the rest of the world. So it just hit me out of left field because we normally get the ingredients to her oatmeal in her albums.
That's true.
Okay. Anything else we want to cover with just before we go?
Just Jewel and Kevin Costner.
Oh, are they dating?
Yeah.
I kind of love that for them.
I love it.
I had such a crush on
He's so
Joel back in
daddy.
the day.
He's so daddy.
He's so daddy.
And you know what? If I was his ex-wife, I would want my ex-husband to date a Jewel.
Why? Because
you never want to imagine your husband doing nastier things with someone else. For me, Jeff Bezos' wife is probably having a hard time knowing that Lauren Sanchez is doing some nasty shit with Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to know you're having a nastier time without me.
And you don't think Jewel will get nasty?
I think Jewel's safe. I think
maybe Jewel has some kinks that we just don't know about.
I'm just saying. I just think that his ex-wife probably had some fun with him. She had a good old time. She was younger. She was blah, blah, blah. I just need my husband to be with somebody who I can not picture nastier things with.
That's a good point.
I just, you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
If I know you're having vanilla shit, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Bring that bitch over. Let's have a dinner. You know what I mean? Unless it's Irina Shayk. Get her away from me.
Oh my God,
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, do not do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't
so
want to have to
true.
picture that, my bed on fire. You know what I mean?
Yes. A brunette with blue eyes is unstoppable.
A brunette with blue eyes is unstoppable. Also, someone Eastern European, I can't do it. And that's my Scorpio in me. I just can't imagine, anytime I've been left for hotter, younger men, throwing me for a loop. Even though I know they were broke and it was going to implode, the nastier things kill me.
I wonder how your exes feel.
Not good.
They're hurting.
Yeah.
They're hurting.
Yeah, they're.
And
I wish them the best.
No, I wish them the best. I often check on them at least once a year. I'm fucked up like that. I will call them and be like, hey, how you
Just
doing?
checking in.
How's your arthritis, you old fuck? I'm like, oh, I heard you broke up. Sorry to hear that. Thriving here, loving life. I am that bitch who, if you're going to date me, just know I'm going to
Circle back.
Because I know my life is intimidating. For instance, dating someone, finding someone to date in LA after you've been on TV and after people have this idea of who you are, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. And I think gay men have a harder time doing it. So I think when you have something in your hands, it's I look at Hoda Kotb and I'm like, how are you single? You are the greatest human being that ever lived, but people are afraid to fumble light. People are afraid to fumble. I just met up with Maria Shriver the other day, and I'm like, how are you not married to like the hottest, greatest man ever? You're a beautiful woman, but people are just afraid to fumble the light because they don't want to be the guy who fumbled the dude. I'd rather be with this toxic ass dude who doesn't have a job, who treats me like shit, because if I break up with him, people are going to think it's his fault.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
So I think I just need to be a little more toxic.
There you go. There you go.
A touch.
Just a touch. A hair.
Just a little crazier. Let my Gemini come out.
There you go.
Yes. Be your true self.
I want to be my true self.
Let your inner demons out to play.
No, I wish I was crazier.
Yeah.
Because I look at the crazy dudes. I see them. They always have someone. Like,
you didn't go through like a crazy phase and then just grew out of it?
No, I'm like a self-destructor. Like I would rather support you and make sure I'm a people pleaser. Like, I'm not gonna take you down in my own thing. I will take myself down to the nub before I go after you. I'm a self-harmer mentally.
That's hurtful.
It's hurtful, but by the way, when you know.
No, totally. And that's great that you can recognize that about yourself. Honorable. Truly.
The nub. I will also I'm like a cat. You know how like cats won't die in front of the people?
Lives. Oh.
Like, you know how like dogs want you to be with them.
Oh, cats will like go run off and hide in the woods.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not in a good space, I will go and hide in the woods, get myself together, and come back. I'm that person. You know what I mean?
Like self-isolating.
Self-isolating. Whereas most people, if your partner is treating you in an unfair way or being a little abusive or like a little manipulative, it's their own shit coming to haunt them. And I'm like, okay, this is not about me. I'm going to go here. Or if it's me doing it to them, I'm like, you know what? This is not about you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hide for 2 days in Palm Springs and I'm going to come back.
I definitely had like a crazy phase. Definitely had a toxic, crazy relationship. And now that I'm in like a healthy one, I'm like, do you just want to fight? Like, let's just like pick a little fight about something and let's just go crazy.
Right,
you know,
right?
like you kind of like.
She does that sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like, let's just see what happens if an ex-boyfriend of mine would sit and play Xbox for hours. And I just started like turning the fucking power, like go into the switch box, turning the power off in the entire apartment.
Gemini.
I was done.
Virgo.
Oh,
I had a second.
Yeah.
No, because there's a Gemini man. That's some Gemini man shit.
He was.
Virgo.
Sicko.
No.
Fucking sicko.
You're a fucking Virgo. I know it. You're
Yes.
a fucking Virgo.
Yes, I am.
Are you okay? You marrying a Virgo?
I'm straight.
You're marrying a Virgo?
Yeah.
No, I'm not that bitch. I'm
Yeah.
not that bitch. I'm also the girl who's like, and this is also my downfall. I dated a guy who was significantly older than me. He was 18 years older than me.
Oh my God, that's our age gap.
Yeah. And I enjoyed him. We had a really good time.
Woo! Nick's old.
Right.
I'm young.
In the first month that we were dating, he would not stop talking badly about his ex. Like, he was still incensed by it, but it had been 6 months since they broke up. But for some odd reason, in my mind, I was like, oh, this is not over. You're not finished with this. Keep this man at arm's length, but enjoy yourself. So the Scorpio in me is, I'm fully going to marry this man in the outside, but in my head, I'm like, this is not safe. He hits me up like almost 3 months to the date and is like, I am so confused. I don't know what to do. This guy is like hitting me back up. And like, I was like, well, I don't know what to say. Like, you and him have been together for 4 years on and off, but it seems like every time you get in a relationship, he comes back and wants to be with you. And then it's a whole cycle. So you know what? Why don't you saw the shade, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw the shade.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just give this like why don't you go back in there for like 2 more weeks or a month and like do your thing? Like,
figure it out.
I'm like, we've only been together for 3 months. Like, if it's meant to be, you'll come back. Thank you so much. You're so understanding. My friend who's sitting next to me as I'm having this conversation on the phone is like, wow, you are so mature. The Scorpio in me knows that this is not going to work out. And then you're going to come back running to me.
Sprinting.
And I'm going to fuck with you. I'm going to just fuck with you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's take 6 weeks. let's take some 6 weeks and like, let's like, take some space. You go do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. Booked some flights, went on some trips. 2 weeks into it, he's like, I don't know if this is going to work between he and I. I saw this photo of you with this guy on your Instagram story. Who is that? I'm like, what are you talking about? I knew exactly what he was talking
You
about.
gaslit him.
I gaslit the fuck out of him. And not even gaslit him. I took a photo with somebody who I know.
You lit his fucking house on fire.
I lit his house on fire because he had poured the kerosene.
And you did it yourself.
You did it yourself. So he's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, it's only been 3 weeks. We said we were going to separate for 6. So like, I have 3 weeks left. Why don't we meet up at the time that we said we were going to meet up and talk this through? But I have some things to get off. He said, well, what are you going to do? I was like, oh, I plan to go to Europe for
Pop my pussy.
I'm going to pop my pussy in Europe for 3 weeks. Like, I'm just going to go like, and by the way, not with any guys, like I'm just like going.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, you initiated this. Now you have to sit in this thing because your thing didn't work out. Doesn't
Give
mean
them what
that
they
I
want.
have to. Yeah, I'm going to give you exactly what you wanted. I knew it was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Guess what?
He's dead.
No. He came back. He came back in full force. We got back together.
You're like, it did in fact kill him.
No,
he was 18 years older.
No. You know what? It should have took him out. But like, we got back together after that 6 weeks, and I literally was like, you and I are not going to last because you're hung up on this guy and you're never not going to, he created this chaotic environment for you. So you only think that you can get love and chaos. And I'm not chaotic.
I'm not it.
No.
Wow. You're peaceful.
I'm a peaceful bitch. I really, really am. In a relationship, I am so peaceful.
You love that.
And I'm really chill. I just think I need to be a little more toxic. Outward showing, because you've seen my toxicity. I've just told you the story about how I fucked with a 50-year-old man almost to his death.
Almost to his death.
Could have killed him. But I think I need like 30s or 40s now. I tried to date 20s. It's not my thing.
Early 40s is hot.
Early 40s, you got your life. You might live in New York is probably my sweet spot.
Ooh.
And you're probably European, so you appreciate black men. And I'm into it. Europeans love me.
Okay.
When I'm in Europe, I feel like Kim
Stop.
and Chloe put together.
Stop.
Yeah. Oh, they really make you feel good there. Like they are like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I'm like, oh my God. Is this Spain
like
all the time?
asking for selfies with you. You're like,
oh, like they're
yes.
it is like they have never seen us before because a lot of times, like, dating in West Hollywood could be a little weird. People want to date their twins. Like that's why you see a lot of gay men who the boyfriends look alike.
Ooh.
And you'll start to notice it.
Yeah, now I will.
You'll start to notice it. It's really weird. They just look alike. It's like a weird thing. So,
well, I mean, I think every couple morphs a little bit into each other.
Not like gay men. They're good.
They're good.
Oh, it's like Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
Great movie.
Like, you're like, whoa, like you guys really look alike. You act alike. You dress alike. Like, I don't want anyone who has gone through the same shit as me. I don't want anyone who's like does my same job. Like, I feel like when I'm learning and why I'm so enamored with European guys is I feel like I'm learning so much. I want us to have compatible baggage. Like, I don't want us to have the same luggage, like the same shit in our luggage. Because if I'm working through mommy issues, I can't have you working through mommy issues either. Because then your shit's going to get in my shit. Like, I need you to be dealing with some other shit besides raise this, that. You know what I mean? I just need it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Is that wrong?
No.
Damn, I'm really going to therapy here.
Damn.
I can cancel Dr. Ruth.
There we go.
Sorry, Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth.
Love you.
Oh, unfortunately. Oh, man. Do we have to go? I don't think we got to go.
This was fun.
Did you have fun? Did I deliver on my promise?
You really did. This was really, really fun.
You're welcome
This is
back.
great.
Yeah.
Please come back.
Yeah.
Oh, I will come back.
Okay, great.
I'm going to come back. I'm not even going to say it on I'm not even going to say it on air because people are going to hold me to it, and I'm going to tell you off air.
Okay, fine.
Justin, please let my audience know where they can find you.
You guys, I'm on E News every Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. and Justin A. Sylvester on Instagram.
What does
You can
A
find me
stand
there.
for?
My middle name's Alan.
Ooh, Woo.
The guy who owns Justin Sylvester wants to sell it to me for $5,000, and I'm just not doing it.
Fuck that. You've been doing fine just without it.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
at 242, stuck at 242.
Justin Allen.
God damn it.
Let's get him to 243.
Let's get him to 243,
Go
guys.
follow Justin. Justin, can't thank you enough for coming.
You're welcome.
So much fun. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We have so many more available for you to listen to, especially if you're tuning in for the first time to listen to Justin. We had Charlie Burnett earlier this week to talk about all things Vanderpump, a lot of Taylor Swift, not a lot, but a little Matt Reeves drama. I don't know. It doesn't matter. On every Monday, we got our Ask Nick episodes where people call in, just like our texting office hours, share their relationship stories, drama. We offer some advice. People find it helpful. It's therapeutic and fun to listen to their stories. Check it out. Subscribe. Tell your friends. We appreciate you all. We're back next week. Can't wait to see you. See you on Monday. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.